Hey there, guys. So for the example of imagination, I think it's an important, really important aspect to my presentation. I think Agnes's perception is totally derived by imagination. And what I mean by that is I'm going to quote first and I'm going to explain later. Quote, Agnes tried to tell herself that it was not one thing or another that broke up the Cashpaw family and set chaos into motion. Yet she could not ignore the fact that Father Damien started it with his visit. End quote. So, with this quote in mind, I think it's important, extremely important to note that Agnes is driving her force by imagination. She is able to differentiate differentiate good from bad from her feigning of a male priest. And what I mean by that is that even though Father Damien brought this little contradiction upon themselves, this little conflict, she is still, or he, the father, is still able to protect and pursue virtuous values in the sense that, yes, she felt bad. She felt bad that she was contributing to a unnecessary conflict. But as a priest, as a male priest, she's able to contribute more than she was as Agnes DeWitt. So the theory behind it is the fact that um, we imagine what we are is what we imagine. So Agnes's DeWitt purpose, like her purpose in life, was to seek virtuous values, to seek good on her people, to achieve morality, to achieve good things in her life, to help people. And so she was able to achieve that simply by addressing herself in a masculine way, which is an interesting question because the idea of gender identity is brought into First Nations literature, and that's something that has never been discussed really in the past 20 years. So if you think about it, Agnes DeWitt and or Father Damien, the pursuit of achieving a personal relationship with the Cashpaw family, connecting with these people to achieve or accomplish some purpose in their life is highly interesting or significant because she is able to achieve something that would not have been there if she remained Agnes DeWitt. And so I think the theme of imagination is probably the most important point to my presentation. Do we draw a line? Do we continue on with this path of Father Damien? Do we justify this? Are we able to compensate for Agnes's actions? And my interpretation of this is yes, absolutely. She may have started a conflict with the family, but it doesn't mean that just because you pose or feign as someone else, that means that it wouldn't have happened in the first place. So I think it's really interesting, and I do think that it's justifiable in terms of Father Damien's act as a male priest and pursuance and just overall dominance, um, not dominance, but wisdom, overall wisdom as a male priest. He is able to give these people a sense of hope. And even though there's chaos, it doesn't mean that Father Damien caused these. We can't automatically assume that Father Damien caused the outbreak of the Cashpaw family. We have to keep in mind that Father Damien is indeed, um, to an extent, imagining himself as a male priest. Yes, he is doing daily things that involve priest like acts and events and whatnot, but he is able to be the voice of reason in this scenario. So I think it's really interesting, and I think it's really important that Father Damien, or Agnes DeWitt, mentions this quote in this scenario, because even though she may be able to help this family in this way, is it justifiable? Is it a concept that can be achieved?